What is up, guys? MeatyLock here, and today we are back in action playing some Scrap Mechanic, and it's going to be freaking amazing. If you guys enjoy, make sure to go and click the like button. I'd really appreciate it, and it helped me out tremendously. So I spent like 4 days ago, I made a post on Reddit and also Twitter that I made an AT-AT, which I did. It's a mech. It works. So this was the design right here, and it actually works right here. So if we press this, you'll see that it does a full walking animation. It seems kind of weird when I first load into the game, but it seems to be working fine now. So there we go. It's a walking animation. It seems to be working just fine, and that's really good. The only problem was I spent a while designing this and figuring out all the movements the legs need to do, and it's actually not complicated. The hardest part was figuring it out. It took 5 or 6 hours to figure out, just because I'm kind of new to these kind of mechanics, and anyone that's making a mech in Scrap Mechanic for the very first time is probably new to it as well. So I've seen a lot of mechs on like Reddit and stuff. I recently decided to start browsing Reddit, and a lot of people's made like some spider, like 6-legged mechs and 8-legged mechs and stuff like that, but they never really seem to work very well. And what I mean by that is they move really slow. They're not very practical, which the mech I'm about to make isn't practical either, but it moves a little bit faster. Now, the only problem is since it is going to be an AT-AT, or I guess, a walker or whatever, you're not going to probably want to move it around, the landscape very much, but it is really cool. We're going to fully test it out once I build it. Now, I actually recorded a video, I think yesterday or the day before, trying to do this exact thing, making an AT-AT. But the problem was, if this is what it turned out to be, I had a bunch of cool designs. I actually built more than this. I had it all buttoned up. I had windows that came out. Like I had a elevator system for the chair. I had all kinds of cool stuff in this thing, but it didn't work. Now, the reason it didn't actually work is it's too heavy. So it's the exact same walking mechanism as that right there, but since I'm using full metal blocks, it's just too heavy. I tried, and it's losing traction. So to counteract that, what I tried to do was add more weight to the legs. Still didn't work. Okay, so I was like, the whole frame was metal. I was like, okay, I'm going to use a lighter material. So I did strategically decided to place more of the body with actually a lighter material, which is this tile. It's medium weight instead of heavy weight. It still didn't work. I didn't replace enough of the body. So I got this mech that I spent like 6 or 7 hours recording. I had so much footage. Like I spent a long time messing with it, and it just didn't work. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start over, and hopefully it works. I'm going to start off with a light material. Actually, no. I'm going to start off, I think, using concrete, which is medium weight, and I think I'm going to make all of it out of concrete. I don't know if that's going to work. I might make some of the body panels out of wood, especially in the top part. We don't have enough really aesthetic blocks in Scrap Mechanic that look good and also have different weight varieties. Like for light blocks, we pretty much just have this. We have the wood, and then I guess we also have the barrier block, but like we don't really have that many blocks. I think what I'm gonna do is make the legs probably out of concrete or metal, and then make everything else out of concrete and maybe wood or whatever. It's not gonna look the best. And my other problem too is I'd like to really use some of these like window things, like this guy right here, but it's really heavy, and I wanted to use some of these U-beams and stuff, but it's really heavy, so it doesn't really work out the best, which is unfortunate, but it's not really that big of a deal. We can make a better looking one later. Right now, we're trying to make a functional one, so I'm gonna start getting everything prepared. So for this, when you're making an AT-AT and you want walking, moving legs, these actually doesn't have the movements of an AT-AT. If you watch the video of the controller demo for the Scrap Mechanic thing, you'll notice they do it a little bit different. Each leg moves independently. I decided I'm probably going to do that design sometime in the future, but I like this way better. What pretty much happens is, let me go ahead and pick this up real quick. We're going to place it down. So if you're making any sort of mech, no matter what their leg movements are, you need to have them in this orientation. One side, both legs are going to be out, and then the other side, both legs are going to be in. Then the way you actually need to program the movement is this outwards leg right here, and then this outwards leg facing inwards or whatever, need to move at the same time. And we're actually moving them at the same time. It's picking up the mech and shifting it forward. As that happens, this leg right here and this leg right here are actually picking up bending inwards, and then landing all at the same time. So when this finishes actually shifting forward, these guys pick up and land. So that all happens at the same time. Now to actually get this to loop, you do the same thing but in reverse. So since these guys will be out now, this one would be out. Let's go ahead and shift it forward one, and I'll show you guys like that. Boom. Okay, since these guys will be shifted forward, well, they're not right now, but you guys saw the animation here. Pretend that this is back one. Since these guys will be forward, you do the exact opposite. You push on the ground with this leg and this leg, move it forward or whatever, and then you would pick these legs up. So I'll go ahead and show you that in the controller. The hardest part is getting the starting look of the legs. Everything after that is just 90-degree angles. So this is my starting positions of the legs. These are the inside and outside bends for the legs. So this is 1 through 3 and then 4 through 6. I have one controller on each of the back 2 legs and then the front 2 legs. So this would be 1, 2, 3. That's this leg right here, and this would be 4, 5, 6. This one would be facing inward. This one would be facing outward. Same thing for this side. And then the ones that are pushing off the ground, this right here doesn't move at all. As you can see right here, these are actually the top joints. The ones that are moving the ground do not move at all. They stay right there because they push off the ground, and then you just move the legs, which causes it to do the lifting up motion and pushing motion. And then the ones that you don't want colliding with the ground, actually you lift up off the ground like that on these little hinges right here. So yeah, I got inspired by the controller video. I wanted to, throw my own twist on it. So we're going to go ahead and try to build it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a frame like this and get 3 joints, or I guess 3 bearings in each of the legs. You can make these any length you want. I just am probably going to use same length for all of them, except for maybe this one, and I don't know. We'll see. I like to make different designs for each one of them. Like this one is actually way different than this leg design. This one is more like 40-degree angles, and this one is more like slightly shifting angles. So you can do this any way you want. I suggest 3 bends, though, 3 joints. You can do this with more, but it's going to get more complicated, and you don't really need them. Honestly, I might even be able to do this with less. I might be. No, you couldn't. You'd have to have at least 3, I think, or the tires would be facing at different angles. Now, I also tried to use springs, but from what I've seen, springs actually cause it to be unbalanced. So, and that has to do with the way I move the legs themselves. If I had a different design where each leg moves separately on different turns, that probably wouldn't be the case. But since I'm doing it like that, the springs cause it to be unbalanced, and it doesn't tip over. It just kind of like wobbles a little bit in between steps, and it doesn't look quite as good. Anyways, enough with the technical mumbo jumbo. We are going to start building, and I guess I'm going to tear this one down, as this one is just my demo one that has no body. It's just like the legs or whatever. So yeah, let me do that. I'm going to get this the joints in. The bottom body, and then I'm probably going to get the starting positions for the legs. You're going to have to do that yourself. It just depends on the way you like the starting positions to look. But you have to make sure that both the outward-facing legs are exactly the same, and both the inward-facing legs are exactly the same, depending on what position you use. Okay, we're back. So, I have built the legs. I've also built the frame. This guy right here is actually going to be something that I'm going to delete later, and we're going to have something that comes down and goes back up in. I'm not sure if we're going to get that done today. I would like to just get the basic shape of the mech and get the walking actually working. So, the hardest part of this is actually getting the original walking and then also the original positions. I would say the original positions, once you kind of like learn what you're doing, is probably the hardest part. So we're actually going to bring this out. Oh, no, not like that. We're going to bring this out like so. Yes, and we're going to bring it out 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't really matter how far you bring this out. I'm just doing this so it kind of like covers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can like eventually cover the legs up and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the basic platform. I'm going to stick a controller. See, I'm not exactly sure because I might end up replacing some of this with wood later, so just to lighten up the load. So we want to place the controller in a place that we don't worry about actually destroying everything. So what we might actually do to make this a little bit easier is let me kill some of these parts right here, and then let's lift this back up. We're going to place this so we can actually access the controller from either inside or up or outside right here. Let's just go ahead and do that. Nope, that is not what I want to do. I want these to face down. Nope, that is not what I want to do. Like so. There we go. So is this facing? Yes, this is facing opposite directions, which is exactly what I want. Okay, so when you're hooking this up, you want to do this in order. It makes it a little bit easier for me. So you want to do 1, and then this is because I can remember the positions. 2, and then 3. And then you're going to hook up these guys right here. 1, 2, and then 3. Now over here, I like to hook them up in opposite order just because you want, so I have this as 1, 2, 3. I like to have this one as 1, 2, 3 because I would like these legs to go first. And you actually have opposite legs go with each other, move in order together. So I'm going to make this 1 and then 2 and then 3, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. Also, ignore this. I'm going to see if I can actually put basic steering functionality. So we have some things to actually turn the legs, which will hook up to steering once we get everything kind of fully operational and see if it works. So yeah, there we go. Awesome. So that should be perfect. Now we just got to do the starting positions. Now what I like to do is I like to make sure that the front and back are actually facing opposite directions. So let's just go ahead and, so this is going down. How about we have all of this go the same direction? So we'll have that go like that, that go like that, and then we'll have this go like that. There we go. So it's all rotating clockwise. And then we'll have the backside all rotating counterclockwise. That way we can use the same degrees for everything and it's less confusing. Okay, and we'll do that. So I think this is everything rotating clockwise, yes. Then we want to make the backside all rotating counterclockwise like so. Boom. And then boom, and then there we go. Okay, so that's all rotating counterclockwise. So let's go ahead and get the controllers here. Now the first position is going to be the moving the legs up and down. This right here, I like to always set in a downwards position. So we're going to say the starting position, so it's counterclockwise. So does that mean we're going positive? I can't remember, actually. Let's just do that, and then let's bring this up, and then we'll bring it off the lift. This thing's going to collapse, but I just want to make sure that this is going the right... Yeah, that's going down. Okay, sweet. That's exactly what I want. Let's just go ahead and put this back on the lift, and then bring it down, and then we're going to start doing the starting positions. Now, like I said, this all depends on you, really. Then we'll do 4 as positive 15. Boom. And then I think this is also positive, right? Because, yeah, let's do 15 and then 15. Yeah. Okay. So let's bring it back up. And this is the most tedious part I find from doing the actual legs. Yeah, they're all facing inwards, which is exactly what we want. Now, you need to figure out which 2 legs. I like to go with the 1, 2, 3s. You want facing, forward. So 1, 2, 3 right here. We want this leg to extend out this way, and then we want this leg right here to extend out this way, and then we want this one facing in, and then we want this one facing out. So we're gonna do the degrees accordingly. So yeah, it's standing up right now. So we probably want to use move maybe 2. 30 degrees, and then, yeah, let's do this. So we're going to try to do a little bit on camera. So we're going to move forward 30 degrees, and then we're going to move the bottom leg back 45 degrees, and this should completely straighten it out. No, that's wrong. Okay. Okay, so let's go back 30 degrees and positive 45 degrees, like that. I think that's right. No, that's not right. Yeah, getting the starting locations is always, like, the worst part. Let me play with this a little bit. Actually, you know what we need? I need to do the 60 degrees. That's what my problem is. 60. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, 60 degrees like that. Then we want 4, 5, and 6 to go inwards. So there we go. Let's just go ahead and do this on camera real quick. So I think this would now go positive 30. I think this now goes positive 30 and negative 45. Something like that. Something like that. Let's just go ahead and put it back on the thing here, and then we'll remove this, and this should be right. Well, this is rotating, so we actually need to put a cockpit. But I think this is decently right. Let me grab a chair real quick, and then this is going to be a long process. I'm going to have to do a lot of stuff on this video. Okay, so a few seconds later, I was actually correct. This is all lined up perfectly on the ground. You want to make sure it's straight in the starting position, or this is not going to work at all. Okay, so the next part is, I've already figured it out, so this is actually the easy part for me. So I actually want 1, 2, 3 to go first, and then 1, 2, 3 to go first at the exact same time. So on the first one here, we're actually not going to touch, we're not going to move this up and down. It's going to stay 0, and then we want this to go positive 90 90 and then negative 90, like so. So that's going to be this leg right here. This is what's going to actually lift up the machine and then drop it back down. So it's going to lift it up, and then these guys are going to be in this position right here. Then hopefully we're trying to move this leg at the same time and move it up in this position. So back here, I like to do these things at the exact same time. So 1, 2, 3. We want this to go positive 90, like so, and then negative 90, like so. There we go. And then down here, at the same time, we want this to actually lift up the legs. So we're going to lift it up. That's going to lift up the ones that aren't actually pushing against the ground. And then we want to have this go negative 90. And I'm just going the opposite rotations of what this is. So this is positive, you go negative. Then right like that. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing over here. And then that will be the first leg movement done pretty much, and that's pretty much all you have to do. So let's just go negative 15. Also, I forgot, on the second step you want it to go positive 15 because you want it to land back down. You don't want them just staying up in the air. So then we're going to go negative 90 and then positive 90. Sweet. Okay, let's do that. And then like so, and hopefully this is like understandable. One reason I deleted a lot of my footage when I tried to record this before is because I spent way too long trying to explain this, and I'm trying to think of like a simpler way to actually do this. Okay, so the first step should actually done. This should be able to actually step up and do walking animation, but first we actually need to add tires for some support. Okay, yeah, it doesn't add enough weight yet. But this should actually be working. So let me work on this a little bit more. I'm going to do the second stage of the legs walking, and it's just going to be exactly opposite of this. So on the second stage, what I do is I skip one because that's when this line is when the legs actually go back down to the ground. I go over to this line, and I'm going to go negative 15, positive 15, and then we're going to go negative 90, and then positive 90. And then that's going to be the next step. And that's all you got to do. Just do it for all four things, and it'll just be the opposite of this guy right here. Okay, guys, so I actually completely derped. I didn't even follow the first thing I said. You need this to be the starting position. This is definitely not the starting position on this, so I have this wrong. So yeah, I'm going to have to like reverse these legs right here and then reverse the movements that these legs actually do. I'm sorry if that confused you, but I don't really want to feel like going back and tearing this down and re-explaining it and stuff, but hopefully you understand. So we have something wrong right here. So let's just see what the first one is right here. So this is the first, right? So we actually need this to be facing forward, and then this one to be facing backwards. So I need to switch 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 right here for their starting positions. So yeah, I'm very, very sorry. So we want this to be positive 30 and then negative 60. And then we want this to be, I think it's negative 45 and positive 45. Yeah, we want this to be negative 45 and positive 45. And then what that means is I'm actually going to have to reverse all of these as well. So like this is going to have to be positive 90 and then negative 90. There we go. Like so. And then we want this. That's the reason why I wasn't gaining as much traction as I figured. I was confused by I wasn't gaining traction because I'm actually doing the wrong leg movements, and they're both dragging inwards and kind of keeping it in the same position. So yeah, let's just go ahead and reverse all this, and hopefully you kind of understand what I'm talking about. Yes. Why is... I'm confused. Why is this on this side? I don't understand. This is wrong. Okay. Okay. I had it wrong anyways. Okay. So I programmed it wrong, which is good, I guess, that I just now noticed it and I had to fix it. So let's just do that, and then let's do that. And this both these legs should switch positions. So let's just do a little run over real quick to see if we have it right. Okay. So one's going to pick up, so it's 0. Okay. And then that's going to be 15, then 0. Okay. So that seems to be fine. So let's do this. They should switch. Yes? Okay, so now they're inward and outward. Now let's see if it actually gains any traction. As you see, I've built up a little bit more, so let's do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, it's gaining more traction. Nice. And we've already built up a little bit, and it's not slipping yet, so I'm guessing the concrete blocks might work, but we still actually have to build up quite a lot. Now, why are you doing that? I've messed up somewhere. Yeah, so that's the thing. Anyways, I'm glad I fixed that. I just wanted to point that out to you guys so you understand. I'm going to play with it a little bit more, and hopefully we fix it. And hopefully you understand the basic premise of how this actually works. Okay, guys, so this is what I have so far. It's starting to kind of look like an AT-AT. I still haven't done the head up here because I'm actually having a weight problem again where it's sliding around. Also, for some reason, I've made sure I built this perfectly symmetrical. At the beginning, I kind of made some symmetrical mistakes, but I've fixed those. For some reason, it's weighted on this side a little bit more, but I've been checking for like the past hour, looking at every block. I cannot find a difference between the sides. So I think the lift, I've actually had the lift do this to me before, where it doesn't actually pick the exact center, which is kind of weird. Anyways, I eventually am going to add some more to this. We're going to stick a lift right here in the center so you can kind of like get right here. It's going to lift you up there, and then you can get in the chair up here. Let's just go ahead and get in the chair. I'm going to show you guys the inside. I have some other plans for this. Let's just actually get off of, let's get off of this real quick. And then let's move it all the way back. Yeah, like so. Let's get rid of the lift again. There we go. So it's going to do its orientation. Let's go ahead and get on this guy. Also, I'm sorry about the lag. There's some like clipping issues or something. I have no idea. But let's come inside. So yeah, it's decently roomy in here. Also, I did these guys. They're actually medium weight for some like skylight. And I have these guys right here on hinges. So... wait, yeah, on hinges, so I could actually lift and open those. I haven't hooked those guys up yet, though. So let's just go ahead and see if this works the way as it's intended. It should work. It's going to be a little wobbly, I think, because it is really heavy and it might slide around a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and try this. There we go. So it is walking forward. There we go. It's a little wobbly. Let it kind of like do its thing. There we go. So yeah, it's sliding because it's not gaining enough traction. Because the whole build right here is so heavy. So I'm going to turn this off. Okay. It's going to go back. It might actually tip over. One thing that yeah, it's going to tip over. No, it's not. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, so making a full AT-AT, I would suggest maybe making it out of wood, or maybe making the legs themselves out of like stone or steel, and then making the upper body out of wood. I'm not 100% sure. But one thing that we can do that we haven't done yet is actually stick this on loop. Once you stick on loop, it has a forever walking animation. So let's just go ahead and do this. We're going to stick this on loop like so. There we go. And we should actually be able to get inside this guy and go forward like so. Nice. And then, oh, there we go. Yeah, so turning left and right doesn't actually work all that well. So I have this actually hooked up to those things that's supposed to turn left and right. But it doesn't really work all too well. But it does walk. It is kind of cool. I might expand on this idea further in the future and maybe make a more stable walking one. Or maybe change this guy up a little bit. If you have any suggestions, then make sure to comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to click the like button. I love your faces. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I guess I can just get off and it's just going to walk by itself. Yeah. See, as you can see, it's slipping right there. When it's lighter weight, it actually doesn't slip, which is kind of sad. And then I haven't even tested it on things like ramps. It's probably going to be really bad. Also, I might have accidentally not made this symmetrical, so it could be uneven on one side that I just don't know. You can see the window right there doing its thing. There we go, and now it's going to flip over. Yeah, so I spent way too long on this project for, like, the result. I mean, this one works perfectly fine right here. Like, this one's way more stable. I'm not sure which way goes forward on this. Which way goes forward? Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. So that way actually goes forward. Let's just go ahead and get on that, and then we're going to bind this to the steering wheel. And this one works way better, so let's just go ahead and do this. Yeah, I think because the weight's underneath of the legs, so yeah, this one works way better. This is actually the very first one I like built and tested on too. And you can actually see kind of like how the legs work a little bit more in this one too. Yeah. Yeah. So you could build a frame like this and build off the frame, I guess. And then this is where it's going to tip over because it can't do like ramps very well. Might tip over. Yeah. No. Oh, what's it going to do? Okay, so it's going to... And there it goes. Yeah. I haven't actually tested this on uneven ground. We could go ahead and try it out. Let's do that. It's going to go in a starting position. Let's go and get this, and let's. I'm assuming it's going to walk fine on uneven ground. It's just when it gets to like hills or whatever, it's not going to work that well. Yeah, look at that. That's really cool, though. It definitely is cool that you can do things like this, and I'm sure some people are going to come up with some better mech designs than this. This one works pretty well. That one, not so much because it's really top-heavy, and it's just overall super heavy in general. Yeah, this one actually works pretty well. I don't think... Let's go ahead and turn this off. I don't think I put any steering in this, did I? No, I didn't put any steering. So, yeah, it just walks forward forever. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one.